My name is Grace Pekowitz, and next year I'm going to be a senior at Chamblee. I am so excited that you'll be joining the freshman class this year, and I cannot wait to welcome you to Chamblee. I know you're going to love it just as much as I do.
Hi, I'm Miss Casper, and I teach 9th grade social studies primarily.
I'm Jake Bush. I am a senior here at Chamblee, and I am the student body president.
Hi, I'm Stella Garrett. I am a freshman at Chamblee, and I am the freshman class secretary.
Hi, I'm Becky Broughton. I'm the principal at Chamblee Charter High School.
Okay. Hi, I'm Miss Adel. I'm the counselor at Chamblee High School, and I have last names A through CQ.
How would you describe the environment at Chamblee to an incoming freshman?
I think it depends, but I think Chamblee is whatever you want it to be.
I think there are high expectations from almost all teachers.
If you are interested in doing well academically, you can find people that are also interested in that.
I think Chamblee is an ultra-rigorous academic environment.
I would describe it as a variety of choices, a full, robust advanced placement program, career and technical education program.
It can be stressful because it's a big transition from middle school.
We have a phenomenal fine arts program.
I think students expect the most from themselves.
A world language program.
And I think that there is this pressure to really succeed and to do well.
I think that students have a lot of choice and variety here at Chamblee.
I think that can sometimes be a negative aspect of Chamblee, but I think it's also important to keep in mind that most of the students here are really committed to securing a good future for them.
How would you describe your classroom environment to a rising freshman?
I think my classroom environment is fun, positive environment, and one that I want my students to feel comfortable when they come in, to ask questions and be curious, and I, figuring out what works and what doesn't.
So what does a regular day in class look like for your students?
A regular day has a bit of structure on, I guess, the beginning and the end. Whatever the middle is can kind of mix up depending on what we're studying or what we're doing, what subject it is. But every day there's something on the board, which and so I just call it a bell ringer. And so usually it's questions that are from the day before, something that we've talked about, or maybe from the read. Something that's kind of comfortable again for students is like, I know what I'm supposed to be doing right now. And there's usually a little bit of time between transition where, if they finish that quickly, they can talk for a minute or so. All of it will either be, a group activity or, us discussing something. There's usually a group or a whole class discussion with me. And we kind of close, and again it's a reflection on whatever we've done during the class, and then how are we moving forward within them.
What do you see students struggle with the most in your class, and do you have any tips for overcoming those challenges?
Learning how to be responsible.
Getting yourself spread too thin. I think that people need to find things that they're interested in and get involved in, but you need to find what interests you the most.
To look on the assignment calendar or hold themselves accountable for what the homework is. It's not being prepared, so sometimes that's not finishing assignment or immaturity that we have to work on, and it's just a practice. And so it's not necessarily the content. Learning how to be a young adult is half of the battle there. A lot of students, civics, studying American government is new, and so they do have to, definitely pay attention every day in class and do the reading because they can't really rely on previous knowledge. So that can be a little bit of a challenge, but honestly, the biggest theme I see is just, not necessarily being responsible. And so adjusting to, I have pretty high expectations, and I don't do late work and things like that, and adjusting to that rigor is a little bit different.
So what is the workload like for your class?
So I am very aware that they have 6 other classes, which is a lot to work with. So honestly, I think compared to some of the, like math, science, English that they do have milestones in 9th grade, I try to be aware of that and conscious of that. And so I kind of have a contract, I guess, with them that, we do 2 to 3 nights a week of homework. It's just, maybe 30 minutes at most. And so I just tell them if they come in and they give it to, their full attention for that 50-minute period, then that's kind of our bargain. But when I tell them to do something for homework, it's something that I really do expect to be done. Yeah, we have that trade-off. It's like, we don't have homework every night. Your life is pretty good in here. I'm pretty understanding when it comes to that. So it's a decent workload. It's nothing to be scared off from.
So, what is life like for a freshman at Chambly High?
It's really hectic. There's a lot going on, and there's some really high expectations. It has been pretty good.
What has changed for you over the years at Chambly in terms of academic difficulty, social life, and just overall perspective on the school?
I'll start with academic difficulty. I think it's gotten tougher as the years have gone by, but it's also been easier to adjust as I've learned different strategies and critical thinking skills. I think that it's just a given that it's going to get tougher, but I think social life has definitely evolved and altered for me for freshman year. Kind of growing into who I am today, and also having these new experiences that, not all of them are necessarily positive, but you have to have some experiences in order to grow as a person. And so I would say that I've made new friends, I've learned new things, and I've tried things that I thought I would never try before.
Can you explain your daily routine?
So I get up in the morning at like 6. So I live in near Tucker, so it's kind of a long commute for me in the mornings. And then I go through my classes. I have lacrosse after school every day, so that's a pretty big time commitment. And then I go home. I usually either just go home and do homework, or I go to church depending on what day of the week it is.
So what are some of the daily stressors of high school, and how do you deal with them?
Like homework and tests and just like school assignments, and then there's a lot of social pressures.
Figuring out what you want to do and who you want to be. That's a big struggle for anyone, I think. But in high school, it's a daily struggle. What do I want to do with my life? Where do I want to go from here with college?
I mean, I feel like they're overwhelmed with the amount of people.
Like, it's kind of like a cliche, but they talk about like peer pressure and stuff. Yeah, it's definitely a real thing. But
Well, first, getting your work done is obviously a stress. You want to do the best you can and get good grades. I think another stress is fitting in with your peers and not succumbing to peer pressure, which is a challenge. I think it's something that I've always been pretty good at, is not falling victim to peer pressure and falling prey to peer pressure, but it's a challenge, I think, for every student. I think we all want to fit in and we all want to find our place, and high school is where we can do that, but there's a lot of pressure to try different things and to perhaps participate in activities where you may not feel so safe and you're not so comfortable. So I think that's a big challenge for any high school student.
And the amount of work.
I would say the number one is like academics.
Okay, and so
You change a little bit, which is good. That's just how we are.
how do you generally deal with those stressors?
I think this year in particular, I've really learned how to, reach out and ask when I need help.
Right? So we listen to music, right?
And I've learned not to deal with stuff on my own because that's just not healthy. And I think it's just like giving me better connections to other people to learn how to do it.
Listening to music or writing or drawing or taking your dog for a walk or playing basketball or, things like that.
So what do you wish you knew coming into high school?
I wish I knew that it's intense. It's really intense.
Don't be afraid to be yourself, and don't be afraid to tell others the same thing.
What has your experience been like at Chambly?
Yeah, my experience at Chambly has first and foremost been long since coming here in 9th grade. It's been an experience, I think it's very storied for me personally. I've had a lot of different opportunities, some amazing opportunities here. I've made some great friends, and I've had a lot of different chances to grow individually and also to grow as a part of this community.
Can you discuss some of the activities and opportunities open to students?
And the other thing too is we have over 75 clubs and activities on campus.
Students have numerous opportunities ranging from different clubs that they can participate in, whether that's the Gay Straight Alliance or the Women's Political Club or the Anime Club.
Some sort of, we have several things here that do that. National Junior Honor Society, Beta Club, Women of Distinction, Men of Distinction.
Lacrosse every day, so I am the varsity lacrosse goalie.
Of course, we have a full sports program here. We have a lot of sports that a lot of people don't realize. We have water polo and lacrosse and gymnastics, and besides your regular traditional sports here.
And there's also student government, which I've been a part of for all 4 years of my high school career. And then, of
And I also participate in my youth group at my church a lot.
course, there are sports and those types of extracurricular activities to be active. There's the Ultimate Frisbee team, which has gotten very popular, and basketball, tennis, so just so much that we can do.
What would you say is the biggest difference between middle school and high school for students?
I think it's the amount of work.
There's a lot more freedom and flexibility at the high school level. There's a lot of things you can get involved in.
More work to do, daily, but also the teachers they have higher expectations of you. So, their role might be every day there's homework, and the next day you just put it into this pile. That's it. They're not going to keep reminding you that homework is due.
How would you describe this social life at Chambly for students?
We have a couple dances a year. I was thinking about the solar eclipse thing that we did. We've got a couple events coming up. We've had a couple walkouts that the kids have participated in. We've done pep rallies. I'm open to ideas from students, and we can do lots of things after hours as well.
What are some important resources for freshmen to utilize?
Either an agenda or an electronic agenda. We do allow backpacks here. Make sure you've got your IDs on. We have tutoring during the lunch, open tutoring campus-wide during lunchtime, and we also have it after school, Monday through Thursday for an hour after school. And then students that need intensive tutoring are, actually their schedules are changed so that they can access that 5th, 6th, or 7th period.
Do you have any other tips or suggestions for rising freshmen?
I'd say talk to people who are older than you, to those rising sophomores, to just get a feel for what the culture is like at Chambly.
Don't be afraid to ask for help.
In middle school, they do not tell you how it's going to be at all. I felt like I was totally just dropped in the deep end. I felt like I was drowning at the beginning of the school year with work and just expectations and everything. So if you are able to talk to other high schoolers that you might know and ask how they feel about it and what they're experiencing, because it can be really just a lot.
Like I said, responsibility is a huge thing for me, and a thing that I try to teach the students that come through my class. And so just taking ownership and being willing to say, you know what, I messed up this one time, or I didn't turn in this homework, and that's okay.
I think probably the biggest tip I would say is to get yourself organized.
Be yourself. Don't be afraid to be yourself. Take school seriously, but don't take school and yourself so seriously. Have fun with it. Don't feel like this is something that should be, something you don't look forward to, or something that you're nervous about.
Make sure that you have some sort of agenda or electronic mechanism for knowing what homework you have and when it's due.
I see a lot of students who are just crushed sometimes by making one mistake, but it shouldn't be like that. I still make mistakes every day, and so learning to deal with that is a big part.
Also, it's very important during your high school career that you find some sort of club or activity that can help build your college resume.
So then my next question is about what the Freshman Academy is going to be and what are the benefits of having a Freshman Academy.
So a Freshman Academy is a concept where it's a transitional point from middle school to high school, where the freshmen are given more freedom than they had in middle school, but there's still some more structure. The idea of the academy is to provide that structure and additional information and have a uniform set of teachers that are similar in nature, so that the parents have better communication, and we know who the dedicated freshman administrator, counselor, and teachers are.
Okay, so is that going to be a separate area at Chambly, or?
Yes, it'll be here on the second floor, and the overflow will go on the bottom floor next school year.
Okay. So then, in your opinion, what is the best part of Chambly?
Potential. Chambly is a great school, and I think that we can be #1 in the state. The student population is strong. I think you all care about each other. I think you take good care of each other. The best thing about Chambly is the students. I think we have a very wonderful group of students, and you guys want to give back to the community, and you care, and I think that's huge. To me, that's the best part, and it's a privilege to be your principal.
People here. I like the freedom, and it makes us feel like we're more grown and gives us responsibilities.
I like the sports teams and the teachers.
I like that we get Chromebooks, and I like that some of our teachers are really, really nice. For example, Mr. Ely is
I like how we have so many clubs, so many options for your future careers.
Environment and the teachers here.
Great school.
My friends.
I like the tennis team.